Oh, God. We're live. How about that? So, let me just get things into perspective here. Hello, Misfit. We're just going to let everybody come in for a minute, since this is, once again, one of those last-minute things that I'm doing, because I just can't do anything on time. Well, not on time. Everything's last minute. There we go. Okay, so that's that. All right, so as you can see, we have before us Legacy of Dragonholt. I was thinking of playing it by myself and just testing it out, but I thought maybe, just maybe, it would be some fun. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. What's the matter, girl? Well, yeah, then come up and help us. There you go. Jeez. I'll tell you. So what I'm thinking of doing is we're going to go through everything in here, and we're going to do something a little different that's kind of out of our scope. So we're going to create the character, and we're going to go do the adventure. So I decided, even though I got everything all primed up and started working on the Necromunda stuff, instead of doing another painting show this week, I decided to trip things up. We're going to make next week Necromunda week, and we'll get all that done, and we'll probably play it at the end of the week because we have more time with Janice that weekend. So instead of me painting all the way through and then waiting till next week to play, I'll just paint next week and play a few things with her in the evening. But we'll definitely have some video on how to paint our good friends from Necromunda. In the meantime, I think we can do a multi-part thing over the weekend here. The cat is a gaming series. She does not come with the box. We're going to create a character. And instead of me playing through, you're going to play through. So randomly, I'm going to pick somebody. And I'll try to give everybody a chance. And then you're going to make the decisions as I read out of the book. So you will decide where we go. You can discuss it amongst yourselves. But basically, when that person makes that decision, that's the decision that our hero will take. So we're going to play this together instead of you watching me play it. So there you go. So this will be like a nice little internet thing. I think we'll really get into it tomorrow more than today. But today we're going to go through and we're going to read and try to figure it out because I really haven't read too much about it. And we're going to learn everything that you need to know about Legacy of Dragonholt. So, of course, you know what the box looks like. So we're going to put our box cover aside. We're going to make sure that we have room for Cthulhu because, of course, she wants to be involved in this. So she's going to help us too. Now, I don't think you need any dice or anything like that for this. At least no dice came with it. We get our shields, our sheets. And there are a bunch of different adventures. But the most important part of this is this book right here. So let's... Are you just going to be in the way the entire time? Of course you are. So I'm going to move these sheets out of the way. And I'm going to turn this sideways. But I want to kind of open... I'm hoping I can open it up. And I'll read exactly what we have here. So I'll do the reading. And yeah, it's kind of boring to look at this way. But I think if I move this microphone over, you guys will be able to hear me clearly and get the full flavor of this. So if this isn't something that you're interested in, I'm sorry, but I figured it'd be something different and something fun to do for us all to do together. I'm not staying long. I'm not staying long enough for spoilers. Well, there's no real spoilers to it because you can play this over and over and it can go 19 different ways. The whole point here is we're going to learn how to play it and we're actually going to play the game together. So if you guys can decide whether you want to get it and do the other ones. So, I don't think it's a spoiler thing. Introduction. I don't think Sonia's death was an accident, explains Celise. Warming her hands at the fire. It's late. An unseasonably chill has set in around the manor, if nothing else. It reflects her mood. Foul play? Asked Timoth. Even with her back turned, Celeste can all but hear the steward's brow arch. Based on what? Something Sonia told me herself, replies Silith. She turned and looked over the small office where Timoth managed countless affairs. She crossed the distance to him and shared what she knows in a quiet voice. He listens, asking no questions until she is done. Who else have you told? He asks. Just you. I see. I shall discuss this with the Countess in the morning. For now, I think it's best to keep this quiet. Philip especially doesn't need these thoughts gnawing at him, with his sister's death so fresh. Yes, I think you're right, sighs Celeste, as she departs. Perhaps my fears are groundless. She muses to herself. In any case, I've already left the letter with the town clerk to be sent with the morning post. She returns to her bedroom, jumping at every shadow cast by the statues in the gallery, and every sound that could be a muffled footfall. You're imagining things, she whispered. The nearest statue tips and falls forward towards her. So that was just an introduction. Game overview. Legacy of Dragonholt is a cooperative narrative adventure game in which one... But we're not one, are we? There's a whole bunch of us. Got my copy yesterday. Cthulhu. Hey, everyone. Saint Salty. Oh, there we go. Wicked, said Jim. Hello, everybody. And Tina, the board gamer. Well, now life is complete as long as Miss Tina's here. So, let's read on. The game contains a single campaign during which... That's a single... All those books are a single campaign? Wow. During which you, the heroes, undertake quests by venturing into dark caves, dangerous forests. Along the way, you'll encounter vicious monsters, cunning bandits, earn wealth, fame, and possibly foil the plot of an evil overlord. The objective of the game. Legacy of Dragonholt is a cooperative game that is, didn't we just read this? If you are playing with more than one player, all of you are on the same team. See, I like that. See, we're all on the same team. Unlike other games, Legacy of Dragonholt is not about winning or losing. Legacy of Dragonholt is a game about storytelling. As you play, your decisions will weave a narrative tapestry that tells the story of your adventure in the village of Dragonholt. You take the role of a hero, a brave adventurer who seeks fame, fortune, either by performing acts of good and honor or simply by seeking out monsters to battle or villagers to save. While playing Legacy of Dragonholt, you will tell a continuous story relative to your adventures. When one adventure ends, another can begin. The game comes to an end when you reach the story's natural conclusion. What that conclusion is, however, depends entirely on the decisions you make on your adventure. Unlike some other games, winning and losing in Legacy of Dragonholt is not black and white. The decisions you make will have far-reaching consequences and ultimately affect the outcome of the story. You might fail to find a fabled treasure or to save an innocent victim. But if you enjoy the story, that is a victory. Oh, there we go. That sounds pretty interesting, doesn't it? Hello, Chrissy. Jim, how are you? Leland's saying hi to everybody, so we'll just take that from there. Okay, components. This section describes the various components that you'll get. So you'll get this rule book. The character creation rule book that we're going to use will assist you with setup and character creation. While playing, you should refer to this rule book if you have any questions. The rules glossary on page 4 to 7 of this document contains all the game rules organized alphabetically by topic. The 6 quest books and 1 village book contains all of the stories and adventures you will experience while playing. You should not read from the quest books or village books unless you have been instructed to do so. Likewise, while reading an entry in one of these books, do your best not to read the other entries on the same page unless you are instructed to do so. The last step of setup will instruct you to begin reading from the Two New Roads quest book. Okay. The last step of setup. Well, okay, all right. You will be instructed to read the letter from Celeste during the first adventure. You may refer back to it and reread the letter any time that you wish. Your adventure will take you to Dragonholt, the sleepy farming village. You will receive a map of Dragonholt after you arrive in the village. Later in the adventures, you might find Sonia's journal. Do not examine this component until you are instructed to do so. It might hold the key to solving a mystery, resolving some issue, or completing a quest. The 20 item cards should be kept face down in a face-down deck while playing. You will be instructed to gain some of these cards during your adventure. Let's take a look at these cards. I believe that we had those. Oh, they're in there somewhere. We'll dig them out. Do not examine the front face of any card until you are instructed to gain that card. The backs of each card indicates a unique identifier, A, B, C, etc., etc. If playing with multiple players, you will use activation tokens to track which player have made the decisions. Okay. 6 blank character sheets can be used to record information about your character during the character creation. The back of each book, including this rule book and character creation book, features a tracking sheet you will need to play. You can either make a copy of the back of each book or find a printable version on the website. Setup. To begin the new game, perform the following steps in order. Create your heroes or hero. First step is to create a hero, an avatar that represents you in the story. The character creation book gives you full rules for creating a hero. That book also includes an example of creating a hero from the beginning to end. Read through the character creation book and follow the steps for creating a hero. If you are playing 2 or more players, each player takes 1 activation token. Activation tokens are used to track which heroes are activating during the adventure. Prepare the story tracking sheet. On the story tracking sheet, located on the back cover of this document, record the following information. You begin the game with 100 gold. Gold can be used to purchase items and pay for training during your adventures. If you are playing with multiple heroes, gold is shared among the heroes. You begin the game with 2 fame. Your fame increases as you become more well-known or your efforts are acknowledged by nobility or townfolk. Like gold, fame is shared by all heroes. Leave all story points unmarked. Story points will be marked during your adventure to track the decisions you've made. Number 3, begin your quest. During your adventures, you will be instructed to read specific entries in the quest book. When instructed to read an entry, you might wish to record the entry number on a tracking sheet for that quest. You may reread any entry that you have previously read at any time. To complete setup and begin the first quest, to find the Two New Roads quest book and read entry 1000. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is create our hero. The real treasure is the friendships we will make along the way. That's right, we're going to make all kinds of friendships. I can see my subscribers just dropping off now. Okay, so we are going... Cthulhu, you are our... We will call you our familiar, and we will write you on the tracking sheet. Are you okay with this? Okay, I think so. So we have our heroes, our fame, our gold, and our story points. Okay, so I will make a copy of that at some point. First thing we will need is 1 pen, provided by me. We will use one of these character sheets since we have a number of them. And I will make copies of the other ones. So, what should we call ourselves? That's the most important thing. Here is our character creation The letter we must read. The cards in sequential order, of course, completely backwards. So let's put them the right way and start with 8. All right, kitty cat, you don't have to rub up against the cards too. All right. Starting with A, which we will put right here. All right. We have these tokens, which we are not going to need. And we are going to dig out the very first book, which is... hold on. 2 new roads. And, of course, our map of Dragonholt. So, without further ado, let's put this away. Put this away. Put this away. Move this off. We'll leave the village book out because I have a feeling that we might have use of it later. Oh my god, Cat. Are you just going to sit here the entire time? I thought maybe you would get tired of it, but I can see that you are going to be a problem. You're great. We'll read this later, but first let's create our character. So as you can see, we have to come up with a name first. So what should we call our hero? So I'm going to pick somebody. I'm going to let them name the hero. First of all, let me just do this. Choosing a race. All right. So they break down all the things, but we'll just choose. Well, I'll give you the races, and then we'll pick somebody and have them pick the race. And then we'll do some other things. And we'll read all the way through this, and then we'll choose some skills. And then we'll decide what we're going to be. Oh, and of course, the same sheet is on the back here, so that's fantastic. So, I'm telling you, she wants to be part of the game. All right, so I think we're going to be called... What do you want to be called? We'll let you pick this time. We're going to call our character Cthulhu Kitty. How's that? Since we have Cthulhu Kitty and she's very interested in playing, let's call her Cthulhu. All right, can we get a pen that works? Of course not. Ugh. There we go. We're just using that old sheet with all the prices from the miniature market. So we're going to call ourselves Cthulhu. Oh, come on. Kitty. I actually have to write on the book or else it's not going to work. Kitty. So, now that we are called Cthulhu Kitty, it's perfect, isn't it? All right, let's see what races do we have. We have human race. Would you? Oh my goodness, cat! You're gonna get in the way. We have orcs. We have dwarves. We have elves. We have gnomes. No, cat folk. Oh, are you kidding me? All right, so I'm gonna leave this up to misfits. Should we be a cat folk since we're Cthulhu Kitty? And everybody chime in. Should we make Cthulhu Kitty a cat folk? Or should we go with human or something else? I'm thinking we should go with the cat race, don't you think? Saintly Salty says perfect. All right. If Tina says yes, then it has to be. But we got to wait for Misfit to give us the official word. I think we're on to something here. Oh, she said yes. So everybody agrees. Then we are a cat folk. Ugh. My goodness, you're going to get in the way. So we are part of the cat folk. Boy, you're really a star. Okay, so let's read about the cat folk and then we'll decide what we are. All right. Catfolk are small in number, but spread far across the world. They have so many physical similarities to cats, like Cthulhu here, that some believe them to be closely related. An assertion that most catfolk find insulting. Catfolk are agile, and their senses and claws are sharp. Catfolk are covered with fur that varies widely in length, coloration, and patterns. They have cat-like muzzle eyes, tails, and large fur-covered ears. Their hands and feet both sport retractable claws, which catfolk are adept at using as both tools and weapons. Catfolk tend to be shorter lived than humans. Uh-oh. Our buddy ain't gonna be living too long. That's alright. Maybe this cat will live a long time. The high ranks. The high ranks live in a small village in the hard-to-reach desolate spaces throughout Terrinoth and Dunmore. Dunmore Mountains. In the deep forest and snowy mountain valleys, they hunt, fish, and raise small herds of hardy pigs, goats, and sheep. Every few years, usually in winter, Heinrich's village runs short of food and begin to starve. When this happens, their custom is to exile all unmarried adults in the village. These exiles spread to the four winds, seeking new hunting grounds or buying their acceptance into an existing Heinrich's community. As a result of this practice of exile, Heinrichs are unsentimental about their homelands and their families. They feel no special loyalty to their place of origin, or indeed their fellow catfolk, and principally concerned with finding their own place in the world. Although rarely seen by other races, Heinrichs have little difficulty getting along with them. They are inquisitive, adaptable, accustomed to leaving a situation when it becomes unsuitable and finding a new one. Wandering Gomes and tribal orcs sometimes trade with Heinrichs villages, although in truth the Heinrichs are usually too poor to benefit either party. Some few Heinrich villages have entered into profitable arrangements with the Dunmore dwarves, trading Heinrichs' expertise as hunters and trackers for dwarven steel and handcrafts. That looks like somebody like that. Half catfolk. Uh-oh. I think we got a little stuff going on here. Catfolk of any sort are rare in Terrinoth and seek generally as an exotic curiosity. The singular and the catagi have found homelands across the water. The Rashar are rarely seen outside of Annulhylum. Can we just have some words that I can pronounce, please? And the Heinrichs are few in number and live in wild places of the kingdom where humans scarcely travel. Yet despite this, half catfolk children are still occasionally born. Such unfortunates seldom lead to easy lives, as they will forever be caught between two worlds. No half catfolks could ever pass as pure catfolks, as they rarely have fur and their claws and senses are not as sharp as their non-human parents. And they also struggle to navigate human society, where their ears and tails mark them as something unusual wherever they go. It's difficult to speak in broad terms about half catfolk, as they are so rare. Some fight the odds and find acceptance in either human or catfolk society. Others never do, living as outcasts and scrapping by as best as they can on the fringes. Most of them go their whole lives and never meet another half catfolk or anyone else who truly understands their struggles. Half catfolk are often ostracized by both human and catfolk communities, but find a warmer welcome among elves, dwarves, and gnomes, who consider them no stranger than either of their parents. Well, there you go. So, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Catfolk names. Catfolk skills. Oh, catfolk skills have superlative reflexes, senses, and coordination with agile awareness expected of a forest cat, natural hunters, cat folks excel at survival. They move easily through their wilderness homes. Their natural athletic and stealth keep them out of danger when danger does threaten. Catfolk have claws, teeth, and affinity for brawling. There you go. That's what we want. We want somebody that brawls. So do we want to be a high ranks, a regular catfolk, or half a catfolk? So who am I going to pick this one? Orchid Yellow, since I see your name first, you get to decide what we are. Are we that badass cat, or are we just half a cat? You make a decision. It's on you. In the meantime, I'm going to read a little bit here about choosing a class. Your class broadly describes your training and talents and tactics you are most likely to use when exploring a dungeon, fighting monsters, or negotiating in a town. Each section below describes one of the 7 classes you can choose from. So we're going to wait on Orchid, see what he decides or she decides. We could be an apothecary, a bard, a brawler, which would be good for us, a knight, a sage, a thief, or a wildlander. So, what do you think? Creating Miriam. Because my goal was to create a supporting character, only a bard and apothecary really stood out. Okay, get it. And decide meow. I like it. I like it a lot. So, what should we be? Alright, so we can only give this so much time. I think... Hi, Christy. How are you? Sage. Oh, Sage is a good one. That's interesting. A sage cat. What were the options? Catfolk, hide rinks, or half catfolk? Sorry, LOL, talking in the background. So there we go. So since they have an affinity for brawling, wouldn't you think we should be brawlers? You know, because the cats are strong, they're athletic, they're stealthy, they're aware, they're agile. I think a lot of our skills would go to waste as a sage, even though it does seem pretty cool to be a sage. So, you know what? Half catfolk. Okay, so we're going to be kind of outcasts. But that's okay. We don't have a sharp call. So, gender. Well, she is female, so we're going to leave her as a female. How old are you? You are, I think you're 6. So we're going to times, so we're going to call you a fine 24. There you go. You're 24 years old. Out of stock at M&M. So, let's see. Who do we have still in the chat here that is wanting to play this? So, all right, everybody try to decide. Let's see how many people decide whether to be an apothecary, a bard, a brawler, a knight, a sage, a thief, and a wildlander. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Whoever we get the most votes for, that's what we're going to go with. Someone just bought it out. Probably. Especially since we're doing this. Here we go. I gotta go easy on the water. I don't have much in here. I've got to be able to make it through here. Well, curses. I was able to grab a fallout, though. Okay, so we got to vote for a bard. Happy Wednesday, Papa Bear. Thief. Okay, we got a bard and a thief. So let's see what else we have going on here. Another bard, so that's 2 bards, 3 bards, 2 thieves, 3 bards. Singing kitty. No, that's not going to count. A knight. A bard. A bard. Tina says a bard. It looks like if you play a bard, does that mean you're going to sing? No, never. All right, it looks like a bard wins. So we're going to make our kitty cat a bard. What do you think? Can you sing for us? Can I write, please? Okay, a bard. We are the most athletic bard there's ever been. All right, so a bard. A bard is not a bard without some skills in performance, deception, empathy, persuasion. Are second nature to most bards, who are such keen students of people's natures. They love their loves, desires, and their most important stories. They are also wandering sorts in general, so they become streetwise in short. Bards are nothing without their stories, and the best stories come from history. In fact, what is history but a series of stories encapsulating of all knowledge? All right, so to be a bard, one must be trained at the Bard College. Bards learn dozens of instruments and songs, sagas scrapped of lore. Boy, we're going to get killed. All right, so there we go. So we catfolk, our agility. Okay, so these are the skills. All right, so these are the skills that we're going to have. We're going to... I mean, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Here, come over here. Come here. Oh, come sit on my lap. There we go. All right. Oops. There we go. Good girl. All right, so let's figure out. So we chose the bard skill. So now let's see what happens. How do we put this character together? Okay. Below are a number of examples of physical description of how each might affect your skill. She carried a sword, blah, 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 blah. Personality and ideals. Example of personal traits. All right, we're not worried about traits. Choosing your skills. Background. Okay. List of skills. Skills fall into 5 different categories. Combat, physical, mental, social, and utility. Select 5 to 8 skills from the list below. We recommend that you select a diverse set of skills, at least one from each character. Selecting more than 2 of the 3 from a single category will yield diminishing returns, as there is some overlap between each skill in any given category. The Runebound world is gravely dangerous. For this reason, most heroes boast 2 or 3 unique combat skills without a way to protect yourself. You will most assuredly retire from heroism early due to a crippling injury or death. So, since we're a cat, here's our skills. So, we're a bard. So, physical description. Background. Personality, ideals, items. Okay. So what are these? Once you finish these steps, record your character sheets. Once you've gotten to know the other heroes. Okay. So there's mental skills, physical skills. So how many skills do we select 5 to 8 skills from the list below. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we're going to pick 8. So first of all, they gave us a breakdown of what our bard is, but here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to pick, but it was definitely bard. We almost had it, Helen. I was saying brawler, but nobody listens to me. All right, so now here are the combat skills. We need to pick some out of this. Now, because we're a catfolk, okay, we automatically have brawling, I believe. So I think we should take brawling. I think everybody can agree with this. So I'm going to write this down because that's going to help us. All right, brawling represents your prowess in a fist fight, while wrestling or in all-out brawl. In a brawl, there are no rules, and anything with from your fist to a broken leg of a chair is a weapon enough. So that's pretty good. Now there's alchemy, arcania, dueling, archery, and military. How about, so we've got to pick another one out of that, because we're going to pick 8 skills. Now physical, we have agility and athletics. So that would automatically come into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, because we would take 2 from here, but we're going to have to take 2 from here. Alright, we'll figure this out. I did. I have seen my cat fight. Alchemy, Chrissy says. Alchemy, or Orchid says. Alright, let's go with alchemy then. Boy, I thought alchemy represents your knowledge of the alkaline process and your ability to concoct and brew potions of all varieties. Alchemy brews include elixirs that cure diseases and explosive concoctions. That's all alchemy. Alright, we're going to go with alchemy. Alright. Alchemy. We've got a bunch of Harry Potters in the audience. Now, because of our cat skills, we do have these. We have 3 of these. We have agility, athletics, and stealth. So I think we're going to have to take these because we're cats. I mean, let's be honest. So we're going to go agility. We have 2 fame points and 100 gold. Agility, athletics, and stealth. So that's 5, and we have 3 more to pick. So now we're going to pick from these other skills that are going to help us out. So mental skills. That's what we're going to have to pick out. Harry Potter. Yeah, that's where we're pretty much headed. Awareness, history, reasoning, survival, or willpower. Yes. So that's what we're going to need to pick out. So everybody decide which one of those that we should take. Should we take awareness, history? Remember, we're bards. Reasoning. Reasonings wouldn't be bad. Survival or willpower. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, hi all. Gramtastic, how are you? Awareness. Okay, we got 1 vote for awareness. Survival. We have 2 awareness. Reasoning. Reasoning. 2 for reasoning. It's tied. Boy, this is going to be a messed up character. That's for doggone sure. So we have awareness, awareness, reasoning, reasoning, 3 reasoning. Tina's in the house. That's not a skill, James. Willpower. Right now, reasoning's taking it. History. Willpower. That's 2 willpower. It's getting kind of close. Survival. So that's another survival. Willpower. We're all tied up. If we get 1 more willpower or reasoning, who's going to be the one to pick it? Survey says. Oh, we're at. What's it going to be, folks? What are we going to do here? Maybe we can get going on this adventure too if we ever get this guy. All right, so it's a willpower or awareness. Or, no, actually reasoning was another one. So I'm going to have to make a pick because nobody else is making a pick here. Boy, this is going to be hard. Awareness. Being aware means you are more likely to notice changes in your surrounding or someone or some... Boy, willpower, though, represents your mental and spiritual fortitude and the conviction holding your heart to carry through with your goals despite the challenges life or your enemies throw at you. Yeah, it's going to be willpower. All right, so in the next one, social skills. Deception, empathy, persuasion, or streetwise. Pick, folks. Will, power. All right, we're doing all right here. Deception, empathy, persuasion, streetwise. Let us see the ever flood of such. Persuasion we have a vote for. We have one persuasion. Look at everybody type at the speed of light. Persuasion. We're going to count it up. Streetwise. Persuasion. We got 2 persuasion. Willpower seems like... Boy, are you behind the time, James. Persuasion. That's 3 persuasion. 2 persuasion. Streetwise. Oh, this is close. N. Persuasion. Persuasion. That's going to put 2 up on it. So we're going to go with persuasion. This character's going to die horribly. Sorry, Cthulhu. Finally, the last skill that we need to do is utility skill. Craftsmanship, devotion, performance, runes, or thievery. Yes, it is persuasion. Boy, Graham, you are just killing it today. So, craftsmanship, devotion, performance, runes, thievery. What's it going to be, folks? All right, there we got that. Stamina, experience. How do all these things come into play here? Performance. We've already got a vote for performance. Thievery. Runes. Thievery. There's a delay, but, you know, what are we going to do? We'll just make the best out of it. I'll try to be entertaining in between. Like I said, there's no rush. Just sit back, have a good time. Thievery. Let me look. Thievery. It's thievery. Boy, we are a bunch of thieves on top of it. Thievery. I think thievery's got it. So, all right. So we've got our skills. Once you finish the above steps, record the details on you are ready. Before you start, take a moment to get to know your other heroes. Now, okay, stamina. Okay, aside from skills, that's something that's important. Aside from skills, you have a maximum amount of stamina. That represents how much you can push yourself before collapsing from exhaustion. High stamina means you can endure physical strain from exerting yourself or suffering damage in combat. A low stamina means you are more fragile and more likely to become overburdened by stress of your adventures. There is a cost to having a high stamina, however, or seen another way, a benefit to a low stamina. Your maximum stamina, if you have chosen only 5 skills, is 14. But your stamina decreases by 2 for each skill you have chosen beyond 5 to a maximum of... Oh, wow. So 14, so we are at 8. We have 8 stamina. Questing in small numbers is dangerous, such as your maximum stamina is increased if playing with 2 or fewer heroes. Okay, so we're up by 10. Okay, wait a minute, hold on. Okay. 8. In this way, you can be exceptionally durable but have less diverse set of skills. You can be exceptionally talented in a myriad skill but have low stamina, or you could be somewhere in between. Questing in small numbers is dangerous. As such, your maximum stamina is increased if playing with 2 or fewer heroes. If you are playing with exactly 2 heroes, you each increase your maximum stamina by 2. If you are playing alone, 1 hero, you increase your maximum stamina by 4. So we are at a maximum of 12 stamina. Bards can be thieves too. They sing about it. Okay, so we are at 12 as far as our stamina at this particular moment. Experience, we have none. Personality and... Okay, let's see if there's anything that we need from there. This is probably... Okay, below are a number of examples of personal traits, suggestion of how you might affect your skills. This hero, probably a knight, seems to be straight-laced and honorable type. She is likely to have a great deal of willpower to maintain her nature and devotion. Such a hero would never rely on deception or thievery. Heroes to be good at reasoning and stealth, proverbially action, careful plan, but he is no doubt excellent at brawling. All right, so that's interact. You feel more right. Okay. Physical description. All right, there we go. So we're doing all right. So we've read through here, and now, I believe, according to the book there, we're supposed to read New Roads. So let's break out the map and kind of let's get going. Hi, Mark. How are you? So let's put up the map. Whoa. Let's try to flatten the map. Why don't we start there? So this is our town, and I'll scan back and forth on it. Over here, I will keep our book. And as you can see, we have all of Dragonholt. We have the field here, which is the Eastern Road. We have that letter that we have to read. We have our rule book, and we have our big book, which describes everything that's going on here. But we're not worried about that right now. We're going to play to the new road. Now, to begin our adventure... Oops. This is a glossary. In a new role, okay, to begin new role, okay, you will be instructed to read an entry. Read entry 1000. Okay, so I'm going to read to you, and we're going to take Kitty Cthulhu on an adventure. Let's see how it works out for her. So we're going to try to put these cards here to weigh this down a little bit. There we go. All right. So we're going to go find entry 1000, which is, oh, right here. Your attention, please. You will notice rule sidebars such as this one throughout this quest book. These sidebars are intended to be used by first-time players to more easily learn the rules. Each sidebar is placed in an entry where you are first encountering a new rule. You can read more about any rules in the sidebars by reading their retrospective entries in the rules glossary in the rule book. When searching for a specific rule, you will find it most easily in the rules glossary. All right. Are there any knights who say hi? Yes. This is a fun game. Has a lot more Tale of Arabian Nights, but it tells more a concise story. All right. Nice map. Here we go. All right. You need the map yet? No, not yet, but I just figure I'd lay it out. So here we go. You slump down on a wooden bench, stretch your legs. You have been traveling for nearly a week now towards a small village called Dragonholt. Your journey is a request of Solis, a former adventuring companion and friend, who has since found her calling as a tutor to the children of the Countess Regina Fairfax, Lady of Dragonholt. You take a moment to reread the letter. So now we read the letter. Okay, here we go. Listen closely, everyone. First, let's show you the letter so you guys can feel a little bit more of that theme in there. Gonna head out so not to hear anything. Take care. But you're playing. There's a difference. Okay. I pray this letter finds you in good health for once, because I need you to travel. As you might have heard, I have taken a position as a tutor in the household of Lady Regina Fairfax, Countess of Dragonholt, just outside the village. I elected to take this position because I hope for some peace and quiet after that business in Neckerhall. Had I known what my future held, I would have done something else entirely. Lady Regina's 3 children are more than lively enough to deny me anything resembling peace or quiet. Even now that they are mainly grown, I remain very busy. But I did not write you to complain about my lot in life. As you know, I never complain, even when the so-called dwarven wine is very obviously an inferior human vintage. Again, or when my very favorite cloak, the blue one, is stained by drunken lush spilling his wine. Elves should really stay out of human taverns. Wow, man, she's just dropping on everybody. I write you because I fear something sinister is at work here in Dragonholt, and I require your assistance. I dare not say more openly, as I think it's likely this message will be intercepted. I can trust no one here to help me with this matter. After that business in Neckerhall, I have only you and a small handful of other allies left. Please help me. There's more at stake than you know. Solis. Well, that's not a great letter to start off with. That's for sure. Looks like we've got a whole bunch of problems that we have to figure out here. You are uncertain why Solis has summoned you to Dragonholt. Her letter is strange, speaking only of vague threats that require your assistance. And although you are sure the letter was written in her hand, the message contains several details that you find uncharacteristic of the elf you adventured with in the past. You have never known Solis to drink dwarven wine, and you would swear she always wore a green cloak. Remember that. It's not unthinkable that her preference have changed over the years, but something about the way the message is written makes you feel there is more to the letter than is obvious. You have always known Celeste as being excessively proper in her speaking. She must have been in a panic while writing to have produced so many spelling errors. There were a ton. I should have pointed that out. Even more alarming is brief note on the back of the letter. You had not received any word from Solis before this one. Please refer to my first letter. Something afoul goes here. Something afoul, something afoul. There's streams optimizations. They say low latency and quality for lower delay, but I don't think they are selected. Okay, well, I'll try that maybe tomorrow. Let's go back. Even more alarming is the brief note on the back of the letter. You had not received any word from Solis before this one. Could she have sent another letter that was intercepted, as she had feared? Regardless of the vagueness of her request, You owe Celeste at least this much after the business in Neckwall. As the tutor in the employ of the Countess, she may be in position to reward you handsomely for an assistance you can render. Excuse me, is this road the fastest way to Dragonholt? You look up from the letter to see Miriam, a Gome merchant you've been traveling with, talking to another traveler and pointing down the path towards a forbidding-looking forest. Aye, if you're going to Dragonholt, you'll have to go through Eventide Forest. Ain't no way around it. About a day's travel straight through. Miriam thanked the traveler, and he continued on his way into the direction opposite the forest. You fold the letter, stowed away before standing. It won't do to rest for too long. You sling your baggage over your shoulder, prepared to resume your travels. Miriam turns to face you. Well, what are we waiting for? If that's the road to Dragonholt, let's be off. Miriam has been traveling with you for some 3 days now. Like you, she is traveling to Dragonholt, and as she put it, when you met, the more the merrier. We should proceed with caution, calls Braxton from behind you. The orc woman hefts Miriam's bag off the ground where the Gome had left it, and drops it into Miriam's open arms. Rumor has it there are bandits who make camps in those woods. We should watch our backs as we pass through. Since meeting Miriam and the orc knight errant, you have found Braxton to be more cautious of the pair by a wide margin. As far as you can tell, Miriam has hired Braxton for protection, but at times the orc seems to dote on the Gome more than a bodyguard would. You nod in agreement as Braxton comments, with a last fleeting glance at the crossroads signpost. You follow after the energetic gnome, who has already started off towards Eventide Forest. So we have 3 decisions here. Let's make some headway before we lose light. What else have you heard about these bandits? And stick close, Miriam. It's dangerous to get separated. Which of those 3 would you pick? Who am I going to pick? Static display? Since you are a sponsor of the channel and have a avatar of the fine queen, I say you pick the first passage. Here are the passages that you have to choose from. Let's make some headway before we lose the light. What else have you heard about these bandits is number 2. And number 3, stick close, Miriam. It's dangerous to get separated. I'm going to read a little passage here while static display makes a decision. Making decisions during your adventures, you will decide how to react to situations and how you act in general. Opinions seen above are easily identified by their white text and dark red background. When you reach a decision point, a set of 2 or more options, you will read each of the available options and choose the one you prefer. You will then resolve the effects below that option. Each effect is preceded by an arrow. All right, so stick close, Miriam. Okay, so we're going to go read entry 4577. Let's go to it. Wow, boy, there's a lot. 45. I don't want to read anything because, boy, that'd be cheap. 4577. 4577. Okay, here we go. The young Gome glances over her shoulders at you with a raised eyebrow. You're starting to sound like Braxton. She twirls to face you and walks backwards down the road in front of you. Despite my size, I am quite capable of protecting myself, you know. Braxton chuckles warmly to herself. I believe our new friend is worried for you, not because of your size, but because of your nature. Even though you can protect yourself, try not to worry us too much. Mark story point E3. Okay, so that is on the back of here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to fold up this piece of paper. And until I can print out that other piece there, because I don't want to mark up our character sheet too much, I'm going to mark story point E3. And that was on the back of here. So it would have had us mark a story point of E3 right here. Okay, there we go. Just so you know. So I'm going to put that over there. So until I can fill that out. So let's read about story points and what they do. I would burn the village down. See, Dave, this is why you can't play these type of games. You want to kill everybody. Okay, story points are abstract recordings of the decisions you make throughout your adventure. They allow future entries or future quests to play out differently depending on the decisions you made. Story points are recorded on the story tracking sheet. Some effects, like the one above, instruct you to mark one or more story points. To mark a story point, locate it up on the reference box by its letter and number, then mark that box off with a check mark or an X. Some effects in the future entries will be resolved differently if the specific story points have been marked. So, after that, we should hurry along before it gets dark. Do the rumors about Bandit have any merit? Those are two decisions that we have to make. So, who are we going to pick this one? I'll tell you who. Let me see who's in here still. If there's anybody in here. Holy cow. I'm going to let Leland pick one. So, Leland, what's it going to be? Is it going to be we should hurry along before it gets dark? Or do the rumors about bandits have any merit? We will wait for his decision, see what he thinks. And if you guys have any ideas that you want to pass along to him, change his mind, we'll leave that completely up to you. And that's what we do here. So, help let me out of this locked room. Dave, you have the key. Oh my God, all that reading. Did Leland bolt? Maybe so. Again, we're going to give him the choice. We should hurry along before it gets dark, or do the rumors about bandits have any merit? Rumors about bandits. We are thieves. Oh, look at this. So now we have to read entry 3298. So let's head back into our little thing here. 3298, 3298. Braxton strides beside you, keeping an ever watchful eye on her eager companion. Not much. I've just heard from some travelers that a number of caravans have been ambushed while passing through. Valuable goods were taken, but the merchants and traders have been mostly unharmed. Mark story point R6. So we're going to put R6. And then we're going to read entry 1340. 1340. Okay. As you speak with the traveling companion, small trees begin to dot the terrain around you. Tall grass gives way to brush, and you soon find yourself at the edge of the forest. Time passes. Okay, let's read what happens when time passes. Throughout the adventure, you will track each passage of time on your tracking sheet for the current quest. Each unit of time represents an abstract amount of time that could be anything from a few minutes to multiple hours depending on the current quest. When time passes, Mark one box of time with a check mark or an X. Some effects in the future entries will reference how much time has passed or a specific amount of time has passed. So, where's that time? That's... Oh, okay. So, on the back here, there is a box. So, we're just going to mark and circle 1. We're going to have a 1, and we're going to circle it so we don't mark our thing. As you walk, you take the chance to become better acquainted with your fellow travelers. So, we've got two questions here. Who are we going to pick the two? Hurry along before it gets dark. Oh, look at this. So, we're going to go with Miss Tina, the board gamer. So, Tina, I'm going to ask you, what should we pick first? What time is it first? Okay, we still got a few more minutes. Ask Miriam what she plans to do in Dragonholt. Ask Braxton what she plans to do in Dragonholt. So, who are we going to ask? Miriam, our friendly gnome, or Braxton, the half-orc warrior? Tina, it's your decision. We'll leave it up to you. Either way, we're going to be marking off something as well. Oh boy, things are starting to get a little hairy here. This adventure is starting to pick up steam. Don't trust bandits even if they wear green tights and have long bows, especially if they have green tights and tunics. Okay. Boy, Dave. And James says, really great choose your own adventure style game. Yes, the only thing that's missing is a computer screen. I used to love those. Just, well, maybe we'll pick this one. So, are we going to go with Miriam? Tina says Braxton. Okay, this option does not exhaust your activation token. So, we're going to mark story point N3. I don't know what you did, Tina, but you did something. And we have to read entry 4945. Whew. This is when we need, let's see, 4945. Okay, what did I say? 4945? Oh, there we go. Where's Morgan Freeman when we need him? Because honestly, I have to say this much. Morgan Freeman can do a better job reading this, and I think everybody would be a little more interested. Braxton smiled gently, nodding her head in Miriam's direction. I will continue to protect our friend Miriam for as long as she requires my services. As you may have noticed, looking after her does not leave me much time for anything else. I resemble that remark, calls Miriam. After that, I am not certain. I was not certain what to do with myself before meeting Miriam either. I suppose I will travel to a larger city and try to find employment. Now we have a whole bunch of questions here. We can A. Ask Braxton about her past adventures. So first of all, who are we going to pick to do this? Well, Dave seems to be quite active here, so we're going to let Dave pick. So Dave, you've got 6 choices here. Ask Braxton about her past adventures. Ask Braxton how she met Miriam. Tell Braxton about your past adventure. Requires deception, which we do not have. And performance skill. See, everybody was screaming performance. Ask Braxton or performance skill. Ask Braxton which lord she serves. Requires empathy, which we do not have. Or history. Ask Braxton about her military training. which requires history or military, which we do not have. Show Braxton how to foil sleight of hand, which requires awareness, which we have. Oh no, we don't have awareness. Thievery, but we do have thievery, so that would count. So, out of these things, out of these three things, we can only, out of all these things, we can only do three things. So, it's ask Braxton about her past adventures, ask Braxton how she met Miriam, show Braxton how to foil sleight of hand. Dave, choose. Going AFK for a phone call, back soon, static display says. I hope you don't miss anything exciting. So, what will it be? Ask Braxton. Oh, sleight of hand. Okay. So, we're going to have to read entry 7526. Man, we are bouncing all over the place. 7526, 7526. Ah, here we go. Braxton chuckles and waves one hand dismissively. I'm certain that I'm capable of. She noticed what you are holding, and her hand drops to her belt, where her purse had been until recently. How did you get my purse? Give that back, she says, and then show me how you did that. You return her purse, and then spend a few minutes walking her through the basics of misdirection and thievery. Her brow furrows as she focuses intently on your lesson. Mark story points. Why do I have a feeling that we're doomed after that? O2 and W3. O2, W3. If 2 or more time have passed. If 2 or more time has passed. Oh no. No, we only had 1 time pass. Otherwise, read 7616. You continue down the road, and the sky overhead is soon obscured by foliage of the forest canopy. Streams of sunlight dance around you as a gentle breeze shakes the leafy ceiling. Miriam skips forward and spins through the shapes of life, smiling and laughing. It would be best if we stayed close. Becoming lost in the woods is all too common for those not accustomed to traveling without the sun or the moon to guide them. Despite the orc's warnings, Braxton makes no additional effort to keep pace with the playful gnome. If story point N3 is marked, which it is, we have to read 4389. I got, see, something's going to happen. 4389. Oh, Chrissy's leaving. Night, everyone. Back to work. I got to go. Have fun. 4389. So, on 4389, you change the subject, electing to ask Braxton what she knows about Dragonholt. I've never been to Dragonholt myself, says Braxton. Lord Cadler's lands were west of here, so I never had the occasion to visit. I did hear that the village has a fine inn. You heard that from me, calls Miriam. Miriam's aunt runs the place, says Braxton with a smile. Apart from that, I think the place is rather unremarkable. A small collection of houses surrounded by farms and orchards. She frowns and drums her fingers on the hilt of her sword, looking all around. Well, there was that one story about a brave hero who could freeze a dragon's flame in its throat, but I think that was just a story. Braxton lapses into a comfortable silence for some time. So, since Chrissy left, who are we going to pick to do this? Doug, if you're still here, our good friend Doug Henning, ask Braxton about her family. Ask Braxton about orcs. Leave Braxton to her thoughts. Bro, give us a decision. I'll read it again. Dave says, and ask Braxton how to bake an apple pie. Oh, come on. Okay, so anyways, ask Braxton about her family, about orcs, or just leave Braxton to her thoughts. We're going to leave that up to Doug. What do you got for us, big fella? Help us along the way of this great journey that we are about to embark on. We'll see how well this goes. Here we go. So we've had all kinds of stuff go. So far, we've just been pretty much on the road learning about our two friends here. Doug and I are on the same wavelength. Ask Braxton about the orcs. Well, okay, I guess we'll... Come on, kitty cat. Ugh, I know you're the main part of the story, Cthulhu, but... Okay, so we're going to ask her about the orcs. So we're going to go to entry 1521. Back in our book as we bounce around. 1521. Have you not met many, she asks. Well, they're not all like me. My people celebrate independence, strength, and I hear that orc clans rule in the Broken Plains. But here in Terrinoth, we mostly live in small bands. Traveling from barony to barony, the humans don't like it when large numbers of orcs settle anywhere for long, so we have to keep moving. Braxton looks down to where her hands is wrapped around her sword hilt. The humans are happy to pay us to fight for them, though you can find my people serving as mercenaries, even gladiators, all throughout Terrinoth. She takes her hand from her sword. If 2 or more time have passed, read entry 1096. Otherwise, we're going to go to 3859. Oh, there's a lot. 3859. Oh, wow, we went right to it. Eventide Forest is an intimidating landmark. As you can see why Braxton was concerned. Within an hour of entering the forest, the thin young trees give way to ancient, gnarled guardians. The light, leafy canopy transforms into a oppressive shroud that cloaks the road in darkness. Even during the most sunny of days, time passes, so we mark another time off. So we're at 2 time. In the darkness of Eventide Forest, a chilling stillness reigns, and even bird songs are drowned out by silence. You continue. I'm sorry. You continue onward. Miriam's usual banter quiet by her new mood. 1 part fascination and 1 part fear. Braxton keeps an ever-vigilant eye on the surroundings, her hand now resting on the pommel of the blade at her waist. You soon come to a stop. When you catch up to Miriam, she is glancing down what appears to be a small game trail that branches away from the main road. Up ahead, you see a number of fallen trees are blocking your path. An old crossroads signpost marks the split, but the wood is too rotted and writing is indecipherable. What do we do now? It doesn't seem like Lady Regina has been alerted yet. Braxton strains to look over the fallen trees. We could clear the road ourselves or send word to Lady Regina once we reach Dragonholt. We could try this trail, offers Miriam. Maybe it connects to a main road on the other side. We have 3 choices. So, who do we pick? Who do we pick? Let's go back to Tina, since I know she's in there. Unless anybody else wants to raise their hand on this. Scout along the game trail and report back. Sneeze wildly. No. Scout along the game trail and report back. Excuse me, by the way. Climb over the trees and continue on the main road. Clear the road debris before continuing. Combat time? Oh, maybe, Tina. It depends on what you pick. Tina, scout along the game trail and report back. Climb over the trees and continue on the main road, or clear the road of debris before continuing. What shall it be, my dear? Tina says, sneeze loudly. Okay, oh. Jeez, come on. Scout, she says. So, Cthulhu Kitty jumps up to scout. They said for us to scout, not you. Come on. Holy cow. So, we're going to go to 5822. Let's see what happens now. Uh-oh, I got a feeling that something's going to happen. What did I say? Oh, 5822. 5822. Okay. You follow the trail away from the main road, ducking under low-hanging branches and hopping over muddy puddles. The trail winds back and forth, and you soon lose your bearing. As you scramble over a particular steep slope, the soft earth gives way, and you rumble head over heels until you come to a stop at the base of a tree. If you do not have an agility skill, awareness skill, or survivor skill, you lose 3 stamina. We have agility. We have awareness. Oh, no. Do we have awareness? No. Or survival? No. Fortunately, we have agility, so we do not lose. If you do not have agility... Oh, okay. Okay, we have it, so we're fine. Stamina is the measure of how much you can push yourself or resist strain or damage. Excessive amount of physical labor prolongs exposure to harsh conditions, and physical damage suffered in combat all cause you to lose stamina. Your maximum stamina was determined during your character creation, which we did. Should be recorded on your character sheet, which we did, which we have 12 of. When you lose stamina, subtract the amount of stamina from the current stamina, recording your current stamina separate from your maximum stamina. If your current stamina drops to 0, one of your skills will be disabled, and you will recover 1 stamina. A disabled skill cannot be used until an effect allows you to recover that skill. Well, that's how that happens. How about that? Oh, boy. Boy. I wonder if Tina made the right move for us, because there's all kinds of stuff that happens here. You crawl back to your feet and continue on, resolving to be more careful. After some time, you rejoin the main road, well past the deadfall that blocked it. You turn back and, being certain to mark your route this time, rejoin the others. Time passes, so we're at 3. Zoop. Mark story point K3, which I just did. You and your traveling companions make your way along the game trail and continue your journey along the main road. Read entry 8557. Woof. Man, we are just moving along. 8557. After following the winding road for what feels like hours, you begin to fear you are traveling in circles. Just as you are about to suggest turning back, Miriam calls out from beyond the next bend. There's a clearing up here. As you round the bend, you see Miriam staring up at a single massive tree that stands alone in the center of a clearing some 20 paces across. Although the great oak's canopy is just as thick as anywhere else in the forest, its branches reach well above the tops of the surrounding trees, affording you a view of the sky at the edge of the clearing. If 3 or more time passes, which has, we have to read entry 3549. Otherwise, we would go someplace else. So here we go, 3549. My oh my. There's all kinds of stuff going on. This is all because of Tina. 3549. So if anything bad happens, we can always blame her. Did I say 3549? 3549 it was. Whew. It's already night. No wonder I feel so tired. Miriam mutters with a large yawn. Sure enough, when you look up, you see stars sparkling bright in the vast emptiness of the night sky. You note how brilliant they seem so far from the torchlight of the city. At the edge of the clearing, several paths cut through the dense trees, leading away from the great oak in different directions. Only a few seem well traveled, but none are marked by signs. Braxton, too, has noted a myriad of options for further travel. We should get our bearings before we make camp for the night. Miriam rolls her eyes at Braxton's suggestion. We can use the sun as our guide in the morning. I'm going to sleep. With that, she takes out a bedroll and makes camp at the base of the great oak. So, we have some choices here. If we have the arcane skill, which we don't, devotion skill, which we don't, or the survival skill, which we don't, we would determine our heading by observing the stars. If we have empathy, which we don't, or persuasion, which we do, convince Miriam to read the stars before she sleeps. We have the agility skill, so we can climb the great oak to look for a landfall. Or we can leave navigation to Braxton and turn in for the night. So here's the three that we can pick from. So James, I'm going to leave this on you. So we're going to put the pressure on you, James Brazil. Convince Miriam to read the stars before she goes to sleep. Climb the great oak to look for a landmark. Leave the navigation to Braxton and turn in for the night. Which do you choose, my friend? Our destiny is in your hands. Only you can light the way as to where we will go. It is on you where this adventure leads. Will you make the right decision? Is there a wrong decision? Is there any other decision than the one that you are going to make? Can you get us out of this pickle? Or are we forever to be in a pickle, since we are in an adventure anyways? James, we leave this to you. With all your glory and majesticness, choose one of the three. Convince Miriam to read the stars before she sleeps. Climb the great oak to look for a landmark. Leave the navigation to Braxton and turn in for the night. James has decided to convince Miriam to read the stars before she goes to sleep. So we're going to skip ahead to 4017. Miriam seems eager to build a fire and turn in for the night. Who cares about the stars, she asks. We'll figure out which way to go in the morning. After some gentle prodding, however, she relents. Fine, fine, she says, and skips out into the center of the clearing, gazing up at the sky. Okay, Lavrina's star, she says, pointing at the glimmering point in the velvet darkness that looks to your eye just like all the other stars. So that means we need to go that way, she says, pointing again. Right, job done. Mark story point P3. We mark story point P3. On her way back, Miriam stops and leans down. She picks up something from the forest floor, examining it as she returns. What have you found? Asks Braxton. I'm not sure, Miriam says. I think this was carved by a human or an orc, too rough to be made by an elf. A souvenir to remind you of our trip. Miriam tosses the trinkets to you with a grin. You gain a wooden trinket. Item B. So we pull out item B. So that's what we have. You found this intricate wooden trinket at the Great Oak in Eventide Forest. It looks quite old. A heart is carved into the wood, continuing. Into the wood containing the letters T and U. Oh wait, where did I go? Oh, sorry. Read entry 8549. Some effects. Let's read about items. This is a rule along the way. Some effects cause you to gain items. To gain an item, record the item's name on your character sheet. Then search the item deck for the item card with the matching identifier shown in parentheses. Okay. Above, keep the item card face up with your character sheet. For instance, resolve the effect above. Wooden trinket on your character sheet. Then search the item card for item B. Place it face up on your character sheet. When searching the item deck, be sure not to look at the faces of any other items like I did earlier. So we have this, and we're going to put this right here on our card. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, Mark, you're here too. We're going to have to get you involved, my friend. Change rules. Always take the door to the left. Oh, the troll's here, so now everything's all screwed up. 8549. Let's go back to our adventure, though. Because 8549, something's going to happen. This can't be good. You assist Braxton in gathering some kindling and starting a small campfire a few paces from the great oak. While you work, you can hear Miriam humming softly to herself. You set out your bedroll and relax. Although you are all tired, a brief chat around the campfire is not an unwelcome event. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Let me see. E7 was not marked. H3 was not marked. So I'm not going to... The only thing that we can go to is ask Miriam what she plans to do in Dragonholt. Required story point N3 is marked. This option does not exhaust your activation token. Read entry 3579. Jeez. 3579. 3579. Oh, 3579. 3579. I'm glad you asked, Bubbles, Miriam. I'm going to set up the finest apothecary shop that Dragonholt has ever seen. I'll brew potions and sell remedies and make lots of money. And I mean lots of money. Hi, Runebound, by the way. She nods, tossing a vial of pink liquid into the air, catching it, and balancing it on her finger for no particular reason. My aunt can help me get started. She already runs the best inn in town, and she's a fantastic tailor too. Marion flourishes her half-caped and brightly colored tunic. So, Mark, my good friend Mark, we're going to leave this up to you. So, Mark, what are we going to do? Let's see if we have any of these skills first before we can go. We do not have history or streetwise. We do have persuasion. We don't have craftsmanship or empathy. Do we have alchemy? Yes, we do. So we can pick 4 of these. So, Mark, pick out of these 4. Ask Miriam what type of potion she brews. Ask Miriam about her family. Exchange brewing recipes with Miriam. We have the alchemy skill, so we can do that. Educate Miriam on methods for barter and trade. So, Mark, with all your infinite wisdom, we are around the campfire. We've had a long day. We fell. We almost got hurt, but our agility saved us. We found the wooden token. We have done so much today. We've gotten lost. We're almost to the town, but now as we sit around the fire, we have yet another decision to make. And can Mark make that decision? And the decision choices he has? Well, they're easy. He can ask Miriam what type of potion she brews. He can ask her about her family if he's really interested. he can exchange brewing recipes with Miriam. Or he can educate Miriam on the methods for barter and trade. So Mark, our good friend, what will it be? What shall we do? Exchange recipes, he decides. So, we move on to 3876. 38. You swap recipes with Miriam, teaching her a useful draught to combat hay fever in exchange for a tincture that can repair broken pottery. Wow. But be careful with it, says the Gomes. If it touches your skin, you will become part of the pot. Also, ouch, says Miriam. Well, I said ouch. Says Miriam, as if only just remembering something. Don't store it in a clay container, only glass. Braxton sighs. You liked that pot. I'm sorry it was ruined. It's fine, says Miriam brightly. It sure came in handy when you blundered into those spider webs. I remember that differently, says Braxton. You didn't have to come in after me, pouts Miriam. I was fine. You're the one who got caught in the webs. Mark, story point D4. And H1. If 2 more time passes, read 7094. Woo! Super glue. Woo! Yeah, we basically learned how to make super glue. 7094. 7094. What about you? Asked Miriam. What are you planning to do in Dragonholt? Before you can answer, she hunches over and crooks one finger like a sinister hook, putting a snare in her voice. Are you seeking vengeance on a terrible foe? Just as quickly as she swoons through one hand artfully over her forehead, or are you in search of love? Aww. Isn't that nice? Be in search of love. Miriam tumbles backwards over a log with a squawk. She grins up at you and from the pile of sticks and leaves. Or maybe it's just a chance encounter. She continues to talk about everything and nothing before finally pausing for her breath. Whew. Ask Miriam about Eventide Forest. Ask Miriam how she met Braxton. Ask Miriam about gnomes. So with that said, who are we going to pick? Well, we just had Runebound come in, and I think he's still in here. So we're going to leave it up to him. You make the decision. You came in late. You don't even understand what we've been through, Runebound. But we're going to put you in a position where you decide the fate of our entire party. Do you A, ask Miriam about Eventide Forest? Ask Miriam how she met Braxton. Ask Miriam about gnomes. It's up to you. A running wolf. What is running through his head right now as he has to make an incredible choice? Which of the 3 will he pick? Which will be our fate out of those 3? Will something good happen? Will we find something like another wooden trinket like we've already claimed? Or will we fall and have to rely on our agility once again, on our athletics? Only our good friend Running Wolf can make that decision. And only by him making that decision can we go forward in this ever. Just know that when Running Wolf decides, ask Miriam about Eventide Forest. Let's see if it pays off for us. 2306. 2306. Somehow this map is going to become a bigger. 2306. I've heard all sorts of stories about Eventide Forest, says Miriam. I've even heard that there are secret kingdoms somewhere in the treetops, where elves and fairies dance in the starlight hidden from the eyes of gnomes. She shrugs and looks up at the mossy tree branches. I don't believe half of it, though. I think it's just a big dark forest and people are scared of anything they don't know anything about. Also, there's the bandits, says Braxton from behind you. If 2 more time have passed, read entry 1096. Well, 1096. Miriam lets out a long yarn, and you second the motion. As you nuzzle into your bedroll for the night, Braxton speaks up. Best we don't all sleep at once. I'll take first watch. Can I count on you to take second? You nod your agreement and drift off to sleep. One of you must volunteer to keep watch. Well, refresh your activation token if you are keeping watch. The rest of you exhaust your activation token. 2 time passes and you each recover 2 stamina. Now we're only playing with one person, so we'll just pretend that we went to sleep and Braxton stayed watch. So 2 time pass, so that's 4 and 5. You rouse from your slumber to gently recovering stamina. Some effects like the one above cause you to recover stamina. To do so, you increase your current stamina by the amount specified by the effect, in this case 1. Your current stamina cannot exceed the maximum stamina. Remember to record your stamina on your record sheet. This is nice to have a little thing to keep on going. True gnomes can be evil. Yeah, didn't you guys watch that movie? Don't Be Afraid of the Dark from 1970? That scared the bejesus out of me. Those little evil little puppets. They picked on that guy from the My 3 Sons. Poor little dude just got wrecked. And then they took her down, and then they made her one of the gnomes. Look it up, 1970 something. You rouse from your slumber and gently coaxing from Braxton. Your turn at the watch, she says quietly. You rub your eyes for a moment, sit up, take a drink from your canteen to wake yourself. You glance around the camp at your fellow travelers. Braxton prepares her bedroll, lies down, and is quickly asleep. Miriam stirs for a moment, possibly awakened by a brief commotion, and rolls to her other side. A gentle silence takes a hold of the clearing. Your journey to Dragonholt has been a long one, but now you are no more than half a day's travel from your destination. The crack of burning branches from the campfire keeps you company. As you keep watch, the moon begins to set, and you know light of a new dawn will soon grace the forest clearing where you have made camp. Just then you hear rustling in the thick brush on one side of the camp and recall Braxton's warning about bandits. Watch for further movement or signs of danger. Arm yourself and take a closer look. Wake your fellow traveling companions. There's only one person that can really pick our way out of this. And she knows who she is. Well, Miss Tina, what are we going to do? Because you already got us all banged up once. Let's see if you can do it time and time again. So, Tina, just like that time that you were doing Sherlock Holmes, which you never finished, by the way, and half the audience never forgave you for that. We're going to give you a chance to finish this one right here. Do you watch for further movement or signs of danger? Do you arm yourself and take a closer look? Or do you wake your fellow traveling companions? Tina, the board gamer, who has returned to us after a long absence. What is it shall you do? What are you feeling is your fate? What should we all do as we wait in anticipation for your decision of our fate? Everything that we have gone through so far, all the bangs and bruises, learning our 2 companions can come to an abrupt ending with your decision. Arm yourself and take a closer look. Well, isn't she brave? That's the way you should do things. So at 1654, we're going to see what happens. You grab your weapon and slip out of the camp, circling around towards where you heard the sound. As your eyes adjust to the darkness, you move silently from tree to tree and soon find yourself behind a small group of rough-looking people, lurking in the bushes and watching your camp. Bandits! Mark story point X1. So much for waking our companions. There are 3 bandits directly in front of you. 2 men and a woman in torn and stained clothing, scraps of leather armor. The woman holding a strung bow across her knee as she crouches, while one of the men has a spear and the other has a long knife in his hands. Wasn't somebody watching by the fire? Asked one of the men. I don't see anyone there, says the woman. Quiet, says the other man. Wait for the signal. They clearly haven't noticed you. Just as clearly, they're intending to attack your traveling companions. Well, Tina, you got us in this pickle. You're going to have to get us out. Do you shout a warning to your traveling companions? Draw your weapon and engage the bandits. Sneak up on the bandits and ambush them. We would require stealth for that, and we do have stealth. We could pick any of the 3. Tina, you've gotten us into this pickle. We could have easily just woken up Braxton, and he could have just took him out with a complete ease of his entire thing. He would just swung his sword, and those bandits would have ran because they're all scraggly. But now, he's sleeping like a log, with his fate in your hands. What will it be, Tina the board gamer? Mighty Tina the board gamer. Oh, she says sneak. She says sneak up on the bandits and ambush them. Oh, boy. This is going to be ugly. But Tina's the type of person that plays dangerously. So we're going to read passage 8408. 8408. What happens to us? 8408. I know you're in anticipation. 8408. You creep carefully up behind the bandits, ghosting up behind the man with the spear. Moving swiftly, you grab his spear and twist, tearing it from his grasp, bringing it up across his throat. He gurgles and kicks, then goes still as you drag him into the dark forest. There's one of them in the trees, shouts the bow-armed woman. Loosening an arrow blindly in your direction, the shaft passes within a hand's breadth of your head, and you see her pulling back to fire again. You drop your unconscious captive and sprint back to the camp. You hear confusion in the forest all around you as the bandits try to track you down. Read 9949. Uh-oh. Is it 9949? 9943. You shout a warning and rush back into the camp, hearing the bandits swear and move to follow you. We're supposed to wait for the signal, hisses one. That was the signal, shout the other. As you skid to the top by the campfire, you see Braxton already on her feet with her shield in hand. Miriam still staggering out of her tangling blanket. What is it? Grumbles Miriam. What's going on? Bandits, rumbles Braxton, as half a dozen of desperate-looking figures run into the firelight, weapons held high. Read entry 4400. Oh no, Tina, what did you do? What did you do? You're all dead. Turn to page 1 and start again. Good one. 4300. Oh no. Braxton hefts a heavy steel shield and slashes her long sword, threatening at one of the approaching bandits. Miriam produces 2 flasks of unstoppers, one of them. A thick acid smoke pours from its open mouth as she holds it aloft, ready to throw. 3 of the bandits suddenly rush forward, charging the camp. Miriam hurls the smoking flask, which smashes against one of their buckles. The billowing cloud of acid fog erupts from the impact site. The bandit shrieks and fails and drops his buckler to the ground as it dissolves. The other two bandits continue their charge. One swings their axe at Miriam, but Braxton catches the blade with her longsword and slams her shield into the man, sending him tumbling to the ground. The third bandit dodges around Braxton and darts forward towards you, spear point trained at your chest. Do you A. Dodge the attack, read entry. Catch the spear and disarm the bandit. Dueling and military, do we have that? No. We cannot do that one. Arcane, no, we do not have that. Or runes, we do not have that. So, we only have two choices. Dodge the attack, catch the spear, and disarm the bandit. Jim White. Jim White, our good friend. Tina has put us into a bad situation. Only you can get us out of it. Which should we do? Should we dodge the attack? Or should we catch the spear and disarm this bandit? Jim, only you can decide our fate. Has Tina put us in a situation where this is going to end book 1 with us dead and rotting from the end of a spear? Do we come back as zombies and have to go to book 8? All I can wonder is, what would Jim White pick? What would Jim White do? Are we in too much trouble? Has Tina dug us too big of a hole? Only Jim can decide our fate. Jim, what should we do? We wait your answer. Should we dodge the attack, catch the spear, and disarm the bandit? Whew. This is a tough one. I know what I would do. Okay, I'm back. That call a little long. Well, Static, I'll give you the short end of this. Jim is making a decision for us. But what has happened is Tina decided not to be safe and do a few things. Dodge the attack. I would get impaled if I tried to catch it. So we're going to dodge the attack. We're going to read 8803. We stumbled upon a bunch of bandits. We're in a world of hurt. And now, because of our decisions, we are trying to get ourselves out of a pickle. So, 8803. You ready yourself to dodge the incoming attack. The charging bandit lunges forward at you a moment before you expect, and you desperately twist away from the spear point. Do we have agility? Yes, we do. Oh, because if we didn't, we would have had to read something else, and I don't want to read what that would have been. 6757. 6757. You contort your body, leaning away from the blade, and manage to prevent the spear from connecting solidly with your chest. However, the attack leaves you with a shallow wound on the side of your ribs. You lose 2 stamina. Oh no. So we are down to 10 stamina. That was not cool. Pushing through the pain, you dart 1 foot forward into your attacker's path. The spear-armed bandit cannot stop the forward momentum, and his foot catches on your leg, sending him tumbling to the ground. If H3 is marked, no, it is not. If the story point H3, no, we have H1, but not H3. Otherwise, read 9513. For Kaler and Harmon, bellows Braxton. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me make sure I did that right. 9513, yep. For Kaler and Harmon, bellows Braxton. In the flickering firelight, she seems a demon. She seems a demon from the nightmare. Huge and dark and powerful. 3 of the bandits attempt to surround her. But she pivots away, slamming her shield into one and knocking her down. Then, slashing at the second, sending him screaming into the dark, clutching his face. She trades blows with a large human, his axe sliding off her shield. Her sword flickers past his face as he dances forward. You notice the bandit with his hair in a long braid creeping up behind you. Braxton, with a knife glimmering in his hand. Creeping behind Braxton with a knife glimmering in his hand. Focus as Braxton is on her battle with the large bandit. She clearly hasn't noticed. Alchemy. We do have the alchemy. Stop the bandit with an alchemy concoction. Catch the bandit from behind. Intercept the approaching bandit. Well, Mad Dwarfer, you're a dwarf. What do? We've already got hurt. We're already knocked around a bit. Let me make sure I read the right thing. H3, which... No, N3K. Okay, all right, yeah. 9513. Okay. So, what's it going to be? The Mad Dwarfer. What should we do? Unfortunately, I have to leave. We'll definitely watch the conclusion later. Goodbye, all. Goodbye, James. Intercept the approaching bandit. Capture the bandit from behind. Stop the bandit with an alchemy concoction. Which do you choose, my friend? You're the Mad Dwarfer. You should be used to these type of situations. You're a dwarf. These things happen. They happen often enough, but usually you settle things with your axe. Because after all, you're the Mad Dwarfer. So what's going to happen? We're going to leave it up to you. Or should you intercept the approaching bandit and maybe get hurt? Is there a get mad as a dwarf option? No. That's why we're putting him in a tough time. He says alchemy. Something he's not used to because he is a dwarf. 50-37. Boy, we are really... 50-37. We've been going at this for a while. You just can't put it down. You pull out an oiled leather bladder and hurl it as hard as you can against the bandit's feet. The bladder bursts, sending black tar-like substance all over the grass and the bandit's legs. What is this stuff? The bandit says, trying to brush the gobbledygook from his thigh with one hand. I'm stuck, he says, trying to retrieve his hand. With a wail, the bandit soon finds that his feet are rooted in place, and attempting to move only sends him toppling over to get even more stuck. You'd like to watch his travails and take notes, but sadly there is no time. Read 2004. Jeez. We've almost read this whole book. I hope some of you haven't fallen asleep. This isn't a bedtime story. Your companions are still locked in combat with the bandits, who swarm around the edges of the light provided by your campfire. Screams incoherently, and scarred bandits rushed at you. In one hand, he brandishes a studded iron mace. The other arm ends in a steel hook with a metal glint in the firelight. Rush forward to engage the bandit. Brace yourself to receive the charge. That's only if we have the military skill, which we don't. Flee and attack at range, which we have, which is for arcane, archery, or thievery, which we have. Or protect yourself with an alchemy mixture. Requires alchemy, and we do have that. So, Dave, what are we going to do, Dave? Huh? Tina has gotten us into a mess. We've been into this huge fight. James couldn't get us out of it. The Mad Dwarfer, he's a dwarf. What does he know about being a bard? So now, Dave, we point towards you. Which should it be? Should we rush forward to engage the bandit? Brace yourself to receive the charge. Oh, no, we can't use that one because we don't have the military skill. Should we flee and attack at range or protect ourselves with an alchemy mixture? We'll let Dave decide. Because right now, we're in a pickle. Can you use harsh language? That's not an option. Harsh language would only make us have to read even more stuff. And take stamina, because it does take stamina to do so. Rush forward like a champ. So, we go from all this braves. Okay, rush forward. 72-96. Whew, what a battle. This is exhausting. 72-96. You leap into the fray, dodging around Braxton and another orc woman. You heft your weapon and swing at the hooked hand human threateningly. He drops into a wary crouch and circles you, looking for an opening. If you have any awareness skill, do we? No, we do not. If you have the dueling skill, no, we do not. If you have the empathy skill, no, we do not. Otherwise, read 1099. Uh-oh. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. The bandit raises his mace and swings it at your head from the right. You block the blow easily, but it was a ruse, and his hook bites into your side from the left. You lose 5 stamina. Uh-oh. We're down to 5 stamina. Trapped. Trapping his hook arm against your body, you hurl the bandit off balance despite your pain. A quick blow from your weapon sends him screaming to the ground, and you move on. Read 2399. Jeez. You find yourself standing in a loose circle with your companions, and no bandits close at hand. Even more of the enemy emerge from the trees. However, they begin to surround you. What now? Breathes Miriam. You sure it's the first time you've heard fear in her voice? The bandit's leader chuckles and speaks, causing the firelight to play off the long scar on the side of his face in a sinister way. Drop your valuables and leave. There's no need for you to die here. The other bandits hoot and howl and brandish their blades and axes in the air in front of you. Braxton glances sideways at you. There's too many of them. We cannot win this fight. She edges backwards, and you notice her leaning in the direction of Dragonholt. You can't have my gold. I'll be using it to start my business, hisses Miriam. Despite the bite of her words, you notice her hand trembling. Well, we do have brawling. Fend off the bandits long enough for the others to escape. It requires brawling, dueling, and military. We have brawling. Create a diversion and flee towards Dragonholt. Performance and deception. We do not have that. We cannot use that. Create a smoke screen and escape towards Dragonholt. Requires alchemy. We have that. Turn tail and run. Well, Tina, you put us here. Now get us out of here. What is it going to be? Fend off the bandits long enough for the others to escape. Create a smoke screen and escape towards Dragonholt, or turn tail and run. We're going to leave it on you. Tina, who has gotten us into this entire mess, can she get us out of it? I don't know. Look at neutral. Stand your ground so we can die. Calling an airstrike. Alchemy. Tina, it's alchemy or bust. They're all egging Tina on. Tina, who I know she just wants to fight. Because that's the way she does things. Fend off and die so the others can escape and go down in history. It would be quite a bard's tale. Smoke screen, she says. So, 94, 95. Let's find out what happens here. 94, 95, 94. 94, 95. You smash a bile on the ground, releasing a thick cloud of billowing smoke. I'll add injury to insult, shouts Miriam. She tosses 2 handfuls of pellets into the smoke cloud. You notice the pellets change shape as they land. 4 triangular barbs protruding from each pellet like so many caltrop. That'll slow them down. The smoke soon obscures you and your companions, and you escape in the direction of Dragonholt. They can't have gone far, bellows the bandit leaders. Find them. Read 3645. Wow, 3645. You run through Eventide Forest, scrambling, stumbling as you go. You are surprised to discover that you can see, and you realize that the sun must already be rising somewhere beyond the trees. Time passes. 6. The narrow and twisting path soon comes to a steep climb with a rocky outcropping that rises above on the other side. A large standing stone tower to your right. You can hear the bandits still coming behind you, shouting to their fellow like hounds on the hunt. But any pursuers will have to scramble up this same narrow gulch. Do we tip over the stand stone to block the path? Fire with your bow from high ground. Requires archery. We do not have that. Set a trap for the approaching bandits. Survival. We do not have that. Well, that's easy. We can only do one. Tip over the stone. 25-33. See, that was easy. 25-33. Straining and grunting. Together you push the standing stone, getting nowhere. Together, says Braxton. And use the Montauk chant. Does anybody know where that's from? Okay, never mind. Stepping forward and placing her shoulder to the rock, the stone grudgingly begins to give way, but the task is physically draining. If you do not have athletic skill or endurance, you lose 2 stamina. We have athletics, so we're fine. As the bandits come roaring up the gulch, you push as one, and the standing stone picks up an alarming speed, falling with a crash that crushes several bandits while others skid to a stop. Read 51-29. 51-29. With the bandits preoccupied by your efforts back at the gulch, you are able to gain a considerable lead on them. The rocky terrain continues to rise up around you. The trees of Eventide Forest become smaller and scrappier as you go. Soon you come to a sheer cliff face. Only a few straggling trees cling to the rocks rising above you. Sunlight spills across the sky. Above the cliff, a promise of freedom and safety. You could go up to the top, but it would be a challenge. The path continues to the left a fair distance, then becomes tight, switchback crawling to the top of the rise. It would be safer route to the top, but slower than climbing directly. Do we climb the cliff face or run for the switchback? Boy, I'm going to pick this one because we're in a lot of trouble here. What do we do? Continue to the left a fair distance, then become a tight switchback crawling to the top of the rise. It would be a safer route to the top, but slower than climbing directly. I say we climb the face. I have athletics. We can do it. 40-55. I'm going to make the pick here. Hopefully, I did not sentence us to death. 40-55. You scramble up the cliff face, relying on the trees that cling to the cracks on the rock for handfolds. This proves unwise, as not all of the trees are anchored securely enough to bear your weight. You find yourself dangling from fingertips above the steep drop. You each lose 2 stamina unless you have athletics. We have athletics. Miriam isn't making things any easier either. Despite Braxton's effort, I'll be fine, she huffs. I'm not the only one here who needs help, she says with a nod at you. In fairness to the Gome, she's not dangling from her fingertips. Braxton makes her way over to you and helps you regain your footing. Test each toe hold before you put weight on it, she says. You resume your climb, but you hear shouting below you. The bandits have reached the bottom of the cliff. They immediately begin pelting you with arrows and stones, making the rest of the climb a nightmare. You each lose 3 stamina unless you have agility. Oh, well, guess what? I have agility. Finally, you make it to the top, gasping for breath. You are safe from the bandits' arrows up here. But the bandits have already begun to climb up after you. Throw rocks. Okay. So, misfit. Do we throw rocks at the bandits? We don't have archery. We have alchemy. We can smash a vial of alchemy fire on the face of the cliff, blast the cliff with runic magic, which we don't have arcania or runes. So our only choice is to throw rocks or smash a vial of alchemy fire on the face of the cliff. Misfit, it's your choice. Dun, dun, dun. Climb. Climb. It would be a shorter game. Oh, I was reading the comments. So, what should we do? It's Misfit is going to decide. I think she's going. I'm going to go to the page that I think she's going to decide. She says alchemy. Yes, it is alchemy. 4293. You hold up a vial of Lormel's fire. Sharing a knowing glance with Miriam. Oh, that's just mean, she says, pulling out her vial of her own. On 3, she says, and counts you off. Together you break your vials of fire on the lips of the cliff, sending a cascade of burning liquid down upon the climbing bandits. Shrieking in pain and fear, they hurl themselves from the cliff, some burnt, others simply desperate to escape. Mark G1 and read entry 9999. Woo! As the sun climbs above the trees, you continue your journey towards Dragonholt. At your new elevation, the trees are smaller and farther apart. At some point, you have passed an invisible barrier where you are not in a forest so much as a rocky plain with occasional trees. Dragonholt lies below you, and you can see the beacon tower rise above the trees and the sun climbing the sky behind it. You have less than an hour of walking before you. Time passes. At length you walk through an orchard. Twisted trees heavy with fruit prop up by weather boards and poles. Then you find yourself on Dragonholt's main street, walking beneath the dueling dragging statues. Where's that? Well, I was hoping to point it out, but I guess it's not there. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. No, not there. Oh, there they are. Here's where we are. Woo! Just figure I'd give you guys a little bit, let you know. The dueling dragging statues that serve as the closest thing to the city gates. One dragon is carved from a black stone, the other from white, and they are arched across the streets above you, not quite touching. Marvelous, breathed Braxton. Some sort of memorial of the Dragon Wars, says Miriam. This way, she says, and skips down the cobble street as if she hasn't been woken in the middle of the night by bandits. You cross a crowded village that is laid out before a garden shrine with a domed glass ceiling. In front of the shrine stands a marble spire atop which burns a beacon fire. Then you pass a building in a dark with soot and marred with broken windows. Marion pauses at the intersection and peers down the 2 side streets, before nodding vigorously and leading the way south. We'll get proper breakfast as soon as we can find my aunt's inn, she says. It's called the Swan. Does it have a lovely white swan painted on its sign? Braxton asks. Yes, it does. Then is that it? Just there, she points as Miriam beams. That's it. Let's go. She rushes off in a fresh burst of energy, leaving you stumbling along behind. When you finally reach the swan, you find Miriam babbling excitedly to the Gome, who looks almost exactly like her, plus 20 years. You must be Miriam's friend, says the older woman. I'm Miriam's Aunt Sapphire. It's good to meet you. She welcomes you inside, and you step into a blessedly cool, half-sunken common room where a scatter of thick oak tables and sturdy chairs lie beneath the rafters, strung with herbs, roots, and vegetables. Thick iron lanterns rest on each table, none lit now. Light streams in from tall windows against the south wall. Please have a seat, says your host. And you do. We made it, says Braxton, dropping heavily into the chair that creaks under her weight. I think I could sleep for a week. None of that, Miriam. We have work to do. Braxton lifts her head and glares. Starting tomorrow, I guess. Let's all take today off. Miriam vanishes into the back room, then appears a few minutes later with a tray rattling with glass bottles of red liquid. Here, she says, and distributes the bottle. It's the least I can do for helping get me here safely. You gain 3 healing potions. Item A. Distribute these amongst yourselves as you do. Ta-da! When you drink this potion, you recover half of your maximum stamina. Woohoo! Okay, healing potions. It just tells you how to do those. Sapphire returns a moment later with a larger tray overflowing with plates of yellow eggs, loaves of dark bread, and tall pitchers of milk. I hope you'll stay at the Swan for as long as you like, she says. No charge, of course, not after what you went through to get my Miriam here safely. Miriam pours everyone a glass of milk. She holds hers aloft and exclaims, 2 new roads. Braxton takes a glass, holds it up, and looks from Miriam to Sapphire to you. 2 new friends. The meal is amazing, and you soon collapse in rooms provided by your generous host. You doze through a majority of the day. After dinner, you rest in the common room, chatting idly with Braxton and another patron. Soon, the lack of a good night's sleep is too much, and you retire to your room. You will have much to explore in Dragonholt on the morrow. You recover half your stamina. Okay. You recover half our stamina. So we were down to 5. So half. So 5. And we're so we would gain 4. Since we have 7, 4. We'll round up. So we'll call it. We're at 9. 9. You recover 1 skill. You each refresh your activation token. You each gain 1 experience. Okay. 1 XP. Okay. Your fame is increased by 1. So we were at fame 3. This quest is completed. Read entry 101 in the Dragonholt Village book. Woo! Well, let me just say, we have been through quite a journey. And here we are. We're finally in Dragonholt. So what holds for us tomorrow? Cthulhu Kitty, you've been through a lot for a cat folk. Oh, I'll tell you. We've been through a lot today. And I think this was where we will stop for tonight. So here we are. We are at the village. So we are over... Oh, I think we're over here, to be honest with you. So we're going to find out what happens tomorrow. And we'll do this again. Why not? It sounds like fun. If you guys enjoyed this, please leave it in the comments and let me know. If you think this is boring and we should do something else. Half your stamina 6. Okay, yeah. Okay, so you're at 11 now. Okay, I'll make it 11. Sorry, I thought you meant half of the stamina that we had. So we're at 11. There we go. Woof. That wasn't so bad, was it? Boy, I'll tell you, we got cleaved, we got hooked. Sheesh. Again, if you'd like to see this tomorrow, leave something in the comments. I'll set up an event. Either that or we can do something else. But I think you have an idea how this game works, how it goes. We went through one whole adventure. I thought it was a lot of fun. And I had a lot of fun. It was fun having you all included and just having a good time with it. So, guys, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And we, of course, will see you soon.